Alrighty, so just a little intro on who you are and just a little bit about you.
Oh, kia ora, my name is Simone and I'm from Whangarei. I am a mama to 3 babies, Dejan 21, Josiah is 11 and Saviour is 9. And I also have my angel baby who would have been 6 this year.
Alright.
Yeah.
And what made you want to share your story on Let Me Speak campaign?
Like so many of the other speakers have stated that, you know, it's quite taboo. Like,
Why do you reckon?
I don't know, it's sensitive
Sensitive topic.
It's sensitive, you know, and I think that there's a lot of people that don't know how to be, like, react towards that kind of thing, like childless and stuff like that. And I think having a voice, I want to be able to have a voice for other parents out there that can't speak about it,
Yeah.
like that it's too mamai, so
Yeah.
I want to be able to be a voice for those people. And I know that there's a lot of people that never talk about it that could resonate with my story and just get a little bit of something from it. Like,
Yeah.
if I can touch someone in that way, then yeah.
Then worth it, eh?
Yeah, so worth it.
Hard out.
Yeah.
So where does your journey begin with childless?
Yeah, so I'd actually only just moved back to Auckland back in 2015 and had plans on going back to Mahi, but, well, we got pregnant and throughout the pregnancy everything was fine. Baby was perfect.
Yeah.
And anyway, a month before I was due, I was quite sick throughout my pregnancy. I was in and out of hospital. I had, you know, just lots of sicknesses going on, leaking legs, lung infections. Like, I was quite sick. Baby was fine. All the scans were fine, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with him. And then, yeah, about a month before I was due, I ended up curled up on the ground on the floor, and I was like, what the hell? This is not even happening right now. But for some reason, actually before that, probably about a couple of weeks before all of this took place, I actually dreamt of death. I actually dreamt that something was going to happen, but I wasn't sure if it was me or my baby, and I actually phoned my sister-in-law and said to her, look, if anything happens to me, you've got to let my whānau know that I love them. And I don't know, that for some reason, I don't know if it was a sign, but yeah.
It's out of it, eh? Because with
I
Alaska, I dreamt
death.
of birth.
Yeah, I dreamt death, and I just remember seeing, there's a lot of things that I can't remember, like I was numb, especially when I lost them and stuff. But I just remember having that dream and waking up like an absolute mess, ringing my sister-in-law, and she's like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm like, bro, something's going to happen. I don't know what. Like, if something happens to me, you need to let my whānau know that I love them. Little did I know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I was on the floor and ended up ringing up the ambulance, ringing 111, and they said to me, do you think you're having your baby? I'm like, no, this doesn't feel like contractions. It feels like there's something wrong with me. It's not my baby. Like, I just knew it wasn't my baby, that I was having him early. And they're like, oh, you know, lie down, put a towel down, and, you know, you quite possibly could be having your baby right now. And I was like, what the hell? Anyway, I still wasn't convinced that was going on.
And this was a month early.
Yeah, a month early. And because my stomach it was just on one side, like I just felt, there was something definitely going on. Anyway, I was rushed to the hospital, and then I had the midwives and doctors trying to figure out what the hell was going on with me. And it turned out, after they had done all the scans and everything and checked everything, that I had a 2-letter hematoma. So a massive clot was on the left side of my stomach.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't baby wasn't, you know, but anyway, they informed me that it would be safe because they had to get the clot out because it was quite bad.
Yeah.
I was pretty close to, you know. And they said to me, well, it's safe to get your baby out at the same time because we're going to have to open you up anyway and get that clot out.
Yeah.
And if you can imagine what a 2-litre bottle of like milk is, was 2 litres of clot. Like
Oh.
yeah, like it was in there. And they were like, oh, did something happen? Like, were you beaten up? And I was like, nah, nothing happened. Because apparently when they went in, they had told me that they only see those kind of injuries when they've seen, like, accidents and stuff like that.
Oh,
True. It was that bad. So they thought I was trying to cover up, like, that I'd gotten beaten up or whatever. And I was like, nah, it wasn't that at all. I don't know what happened. So anyway, they opened me up, drained me out and got rid of that. They had to, like, get him cut and everything. And
Yeah.
I got baby out. And they said when he come out, he wasn't breathing too well. So, you know, he had to go into, was it not ICU, it wasn't ICU straight away, but I think it was SCBU.
SCBU,
so
yeah.
Everything's still a bit like,
Yeah.
I can't remember a lot of stuff. And so that was fine. They were helping him with his breathing. And meanwhile, I was absolutely just a mess, like sick as, and, you know, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And I was told, yeah, baby's fine, you know, he's just not breathing too well at the moment. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, it's all good. And of course, I'm still trying to recover and still a mess. And anyway, I think it was the next day, I had the doctor talk to me saying that, oh, look, now baby's having seizures and he's having, like, bleeding to the brain. And I was like, what the hell? That just, like, done a 360. Like, where did that even come from, you know? And I was like, oh, so what does that mean? Like, I didn't really know what was going on. And they were like, oh, well, we're going to need to put him into ICU. So we went there. And you know, at that point, I was like, oh, maybe it's not as bad as they're making it sound. Like, I didn't want to believe, I guess I didn't want to believe that it probably was that bad. And then, shit. And then, you know, when they say to you, when they call a meeting, it's bad, you know, it's bad. Like, he went downhill and he just kept having seizures, and so the brain was getting damaged and he just couldn't breathe. He was on all these tubes. And one thing that triggers me is the sound of that pumping noise from hospitals like that. That triggers me big time. But even when I'm sitting here thinking about it, I can hear it. You know, takes me back there. Anyway, so they, you know, asked me to gather the whānau together, and I remember this. And so we had a meeting, and, you know, he went downhill real quick. So he was born on the 4th of July, 2016. Anyway, so we had our meeting. Sorry, I'm going, like, all over the place.
You're all right.
We had our meeting in the room and stuff. I had the whānau there, I had my mum, you know, I had a friend there and stuff. And all I remember is I already knew where that was taking me, like where that meeting was taking me, and I was like,
was that meeting with did the doctors and that call that meeting?
They called the meeting because there was nothing more that they could do for him. There was nothing more that they could do for him, and yeah, they called the meeting to let us know that there is nothing else more that they can do, like, to try and save him, because it was that bad. So we had that meeting, and all I remember before I was wheeled in there, because obviously I was still quite sick and all messed up and everything. All I remember saying to myself before I was wheeled in was, be strong. Like, as much, I was broken, because I knew what was coming. I already felt it. I was so broken, and I was like, you know what? Like, as soon as I was wheeled into that room, I looked at everyone's face, and I saw the look of devastation on everyone's face, and they were already crying, you know, already upset about what was about to unfold. And in my head, I'm going, bro, I was like broken inside, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in there, and I have to be strong. I have to be strong for my whānau. I can't break down like I did. I was upset. But I let everybody in that room know that night that, you know, we have to be strong. We've got to pull through this together. Like, as much as this is the hardest moment in time for us, we need to be strong as a whānau. Like, I needed them, you know, I needed them to be strong. Yeah, yeah, when he delivered that news and said that there's nothing more we could do for your baby, I just felt like my world was crushed, you know, my world was crushed, and yeah, I was like, what the fuck, God? How could you, you know, how am I supposed to carry my baby? You know, I carried him for 8 months, supposed to be 9, and it was like it was being stripped away from me. Like, how's that fair? That's so unfair. And yeah, I just remember that. Yeah, they basically told me that, you know, I would need to be the one to switch his life support off, and I mean, that's like killing your child. Like,
Yeah, man.
You've gotta,
fuck.
you know. Yeah, so that happened, and
It's a fucking hard decision to.
yeah.
One minute, you know, you're having your baby, and
I don't know, when I think about that moment, like they're saying, you know, let us know when you're ready, like, what, ready to, like, to me it was like, what, ready to kill my child? Like, you're telling me to switch the machine off. It feels like I'm killing my child, like he's going to take his last breaths on me.
yeah,
Like, what the fuck, bro? As much as I was trying to, I really thought that he would pull through, and like, really, I was hoping and praying that, you know, even when I said, yeah, turn everything off, I was hoping and praying that he would pull through. Like, I just had that little bit of hope that maybe
breathe without it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think what got me to the point of, yeah, I'm ready now, is that I looked into his face, and I just knew that he was, you know, he was in pain and suffering, and I was like, I can't, you know, the longer I sit here and be like, oh nah,
He's in pain.
suffering, you know, and yeah, but that's the hardest thing to do, was to switch that off, like switch it off, you know.
How do you get yourself through that, through having to do something like that?
To be honest, I don't even know how I did that. I think when you're overcome with so much numbness, like, you're there but you're not. Like, I was so numb, and I don't know how I managed to actually get to that point, but, you know, I think having my whānau support there as well, like, really helped me to, you know, get through to that next stage. But yeah, that was the hardest stage as well. Like, actually, what I did love is that I was able to have him, like, on my chest. Like, that was my last kind of chest to chest and last moment with him. And I remember that when he was, you know, taking his final breaths on me, this is a promise that I've always kept to this very day, is that, you know, I told him, I said, son, you know what, it's actually okay for you to go. It's okay for you to go, son, because I promise you I'll get myself better, which is why I'm where I'm at today, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the journey kind of started there with everything, losing my son and that, but I mean, in a better place now, a way better place than I was back then, you know. I was 200 kilos, you know, and when I did lose him, of course I blame myself, you know. Look at the state I got myself into, and so there was a lot of that guilt in that after I'd lost him, and that I did that to my child, you know. But yeah, it was.
Did you get any form of counselling or anything like that?
I was offered counselling, but I just felt like this is something that I needed to do on my own, and I didn't want to go to somebody that hasn't experienced that, like, you know. And I had like support, like group pages, grief pages that I was on, baby loss pages that I was on, and that, so I got my support from there. But I didn't believe in counselling. I was offered antidepressants, and I wouldn't go there, and I'm like, bro, that's not going to help my grief. Like, what the hell are you trying to shove down my, you know,
into your body?
Like, I need to work, everything needs to be worked on, but I don't need drugs for that. I don't need any of that. Like, honestly, next, I could have gone down that road. I could have turned to the drugs. I could have turned to, you know, there's so many things that I could have done negatively, but I saw that as an eye-opener for me, that something had to change, my life had to change, and you know, I could have gone in a positive way, like turn things around for myself, or gone downhill real quick. But
see, and it's even just this week, you know, listening to all our whānau, the ways in which we all dealt with it after experience was all kind of different, eh?
Yeah.
And that's it. Everyone, you find there is no set fucking way to deal with the loss of a child. You got to find your feet and find your groove, you know.
And I think what's helped me to just keep moving forward is that my why and purpose is so huge, and that's really important for me, because I mean, shit, I couldn't give a shit back then, like way before I had him. Like, I didn't care about my life, and well, look where I ended up, like at 200 kilos, you know, and that was the darkest time for me, and then being pregnant on top of that, you know. So something had to change, like, you know, after I lost him, I had to change, like, I had to work on myself. There was a lot of trauma from my past, and, you know, I had to start stripping shit back to, like, work on me. Like, I had to start forgiving people that hurt me, like, really hurt me, you know, and, it just really opened my eyes. And
it sounds like it set you off a whole new journey of
really
self-discovery.
It did. It honestly did. Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, you've been taking life for granted for all these years. What the hell have you been doing? Like, wasting all your life away being unhappy and suffering with anxiety and not giving a shit about who you were. And I'm like now I fucking love who I am today.
Hard.
Like, you know, I've worked on, it's taken me 6 years to get to this point, but it took for me to go through such a massive trauma that it changed me. Like, my life is just completely different to how I was living back then. Like, you know, like, I don't know, I'm just like, was that, like, did God do that for me to, did I have to go through that to get to where I am now, like, to be living my best life? Like, I don't know, like, it's, oh man. But I do have a photo of my baby. So he was 5 days old when I lost him. So I brought this photo as well because it's been a big part of my journey, you know, with baby and stuff like that. So this is the day of his tangi. So this was me on the day of his tangi. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can.
So that was me at my heaviest. Couldn't even stand up, Kari. Couldn't even stand up. I had, like, whānau holding me up. And because I just had my C-section, and plus they cut me open to get the hematoma out.
Yeah.
I was all stitched up, leaking everywhere, and so that's where I was at my baby's tangi, and I don't know, I'm just so proud of where I'm at today.
Fuck yes.
You know, my son, you know, even though, you know, he's not here with me anymore, like, he's here. Like, I feel him all the time, and
hard out.
you know, he gives me all the signs that, you know, Mama, I'm still here, you've got this, carry on. You know, so he's 5 days old when I lost him. But I think that, you know, I think when you get to that stage where you accept that your child can't be with you anymore, it makes it a little bit easier. It's always going to be my mind.
But it's physically, eh?
Yeah.
Just physically. Because spiritually, and it took me fucking ages to get to that point. Because I was hard out, like, if he's not here physically, like, he's not here with me. And so it took me so long to finally get to the thing where it's like, you really think he's not going to hang with his mum?
Yeah, hard out.
You know, his mum's going to hop in the car. You think he's not going to come and hop in the car
and
too?
It's just those little, like, the little signs that you get. Like, I saw a cut. I think I was having a really bad day of grieving, and I was in Manukau somewhere driving around, and I was bawling my eyes out trying to frickin' drive in Manukau. And anyway, this truck was in front of me with the name Isaiah, my son's name, and I was like, what the hell? And I was like, all right, son, okay, all right, calm me down. Like, I talk to him all the time. I'm like, all right, bro, I hear you.
See, these are the types of things that we need to, the types of perspectives that help with our healing.
Yeah.
You know, if we start thinking of things like that,
Yeah.
it pulls us out.
Oh, it does.
All these little signs and
Yeah.
that, it pulls us out. Even thinking and constantly telling ourselves, well, nah, he's not gone.
Yeah.
She's not gone. She's fucking right here everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Every time I step out or whatever, she's with us or
Yeah.
he's with us.
No, I feel them all the time. Like I'm always getting signs and stuff, or if I'm having a bad moment, like I feel them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's alright, son. I'm always talking to him. I'm like, all right, your mama's still got this, but
Or even when you get upset, like,
Yeah.
I think to myself, fuck, he doesn't want me being
yeah,
upset.
yeah, yeah,
He feels what I feel. And if
Yeah.
I'm sitting here bawling my fucking eyes out, that's going to hurt him.
Mm.
So those types of thoughts snap me the fuck out of
Yeah.
my shit sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, just cry with me.
Yeah, help me, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the amount of times that I drowned in my grief, and the thing with me though is that the grieving was quite hard. Like it was pretty hardcore. Like there was some dark moments and angry moments and everything moments, and
See, I ran from that for all those years.
yeah,
That's what I was running from.
Yeah, I allowed like as much as that, I hated grief, man. I hated it so much, but I allowed myself to feel those emotions. I didn't want to be stuck there for too long. Like, you don't want to be stuck there for too long, because that's when you go deep.
You get stuck in your grief.
So I'd snap out of it. I'd be like, oh, you've had a tongue wetter for the last, 3 days? Yeah, no, come on, carry on. Your baby's watching, bro. Like, carry on, keep moving, girl. But
so that's something that I want to talk about. You had your other kids as well with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they were there, because a lot of people always ask me, oh, but you had other kids. Why would you go down that road? Weren't your other kids strong enough reason to not allow for you to go down that road,
Yeah.
But the thing is when Alaska passed, I felt like it was my fault.
Yeah.
And I felt like I couldn't even look after him. I couldn't even save him. And I tried my fucking hardest. So if I couldn't save him, I definitely can't save the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're better off over there.
See, I was the opposite. I was like, okay, my son's not here anymore. I can either get myself, but I'm like, but hang on, what about your kids?
Yeah.
And so I carried on for those kids too. Like I was fighting like hell to, stay here. Oh, don't worry. There was some close moments with suicide and stuff, where I'd be in the bathroom, curled up in a ball, grieving, like, oh nah, F this. But then he comes through every time, Like, he just gets me out of it every time. And yeah, I've had a few dark moments like that where I'm just like, nah, bro, like I can't even deal.
And what do you do to pull yourself out?
Oh, my baby comes through. He's come through every time, and then I think about my other kids. I'm like, how selfish are you if you want to go there and that's it? I allow myself to feel those emotions, as shitty as they are. It's horrible, man. Like, that grief is just, it's neck level. Like, you don't even want to be dealing with that shit. But yeah, I think in the last 6 years I just say, you know what, feel it, just feel it, and feel it, not for too long, but just go through it, and then process it all, and then just get back up, rise up, because don't be stuck there, girl. I always say that to myself, don't get stuck there. Oh, you look like shit and you're crying and bawling your eyes out on a live stream to your mates or whatever. Cut it out, snap out of it. And I do, I always get out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I mean, even after I've lost them and that too, I've had multiple blessings, like with my surgery and stuff like that, losing all the weight. And a year after I lost them, I went back to work, and I call that a blessing as well, because I just felt like going back to work after a year was good for me, because
like
I
the
spent
distraction,
the distraction, because I spent the first year just full on, like crying all the time and just a mess, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore. So that's what I did. How I did things in a positive way was like, okay, we're not going to do this anymore. I know it's only been a year, but no, I don't want to sit at home and grieve for another year. Go back to work. So I found a job, went back to work, and it was still hard, and I think what helped going back to like getting this job is my boss is amazing. She was absolutely amazing, like very supportive, very understanding, and so that helped me heaps. Yeah.
What is your advice to whānau or friends who know someone dealing with grief due to child loss?
I know not everyone's comfortable about reaching out, but even just a hi, you know, how are you doing today? Like just
Checking in.
Checking in, you know, checking in. Like I had a lot of people checking in and stuff, and which I really appreciated. But yeah, no, I honestly like. There's not everyone's going to get it. They're not going to understand like what you're going through. But I just think that it's nice to just check in on them, you know, just see how
And
they're
another
doing.
thing is, if they do want to talk, just, you know, just listen. You don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
You don't even have to say anything, you know. Sometimes someone doesn't want your opinion.
Yeah.
They just want a fucking ear to listen.
Yeah.
To you know, give them that opportunity to just get everything out of their system, the anger, the fucking guilt.
Oh yeah, the amount of times
the everything. You know, and as somebody sitting on the receiving end, you don't have to, like Elise said, I think it was Elise or Julia the other day, you don't have to fix it.
Yeah.
You know, just sit there and just fucking listen.
Yeah.
And just let them pour their heart out.
Yeah.
The whānau asked as well, what shouldn't they do? And I'll just quickly say what I reckon. Elise said it the other day, don't think for the person.
Yeah.
You know, don't say, oh, I was going to check in, but I thought you wouldn't want that.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
fuck, how the fuck do you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I think like I used to. I don't know why I was like this, but when I used to get people that would contact me like that didn't go through it.
Yeah.
And like be, oh no, well you should do it like this, or this is how it should be done.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you don't know. Like, have you been through it? Like, don't give me that advice if you haven't actually been through it. Like,
And mine was, you haven't
Yeah.
even got kids.
yeah,
So how the fuck are you going to sit
Yeah.
there and tell me how to deal with the
Yeah.
loss of a child?
Like,
You
I-
haven't
I-
even had one.
I don't know. I guess they kind of mean well. Like they're trying to
Yeah.
find their ways of trying to help you out, but.
And the
I
other
found that
thing
quite hard
is-
to deal with. Like, oh my gosh, really? Are you saying for me to do this and do that? And,
Yeah.
Oh, have you lost the baby, bro? Oh, yeah, nah. Like, you know. Like,
And the other thing is saying things like, you'll get over it, or you know,
You should
come
move
on,
on.
move along.
yeah.
Or for me it was, oh, God needed him more. I was like, bro, I want to give you an uppercut, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
fuck, go. Yeah, no, I don't like those
Yeah, no, I
types
don't
of.
quite understand that God needed them more. Like, you know, I needed my child.
Yeah,
I would carry
exactly.
him. Like, I had him, and you know, he was
Yeah.
part of me. Like, okay.
So after, I know you said it before, but did that make you question religion? Like,
Yeah. Well, 'cause
fucking God and.
I thought, bro.
I was so
You know?
angry at him, man.
Yeah, no, I was so angry. I was like, how the hell? Like, okay, yeah, I believe in God and all that, and you know, how the seed was planted and everything like that. Like, I just think, oh yeah, blessing from God, you know. How's that a blessing from God? Like your child being stripped from you? Like, I still can't figure out how does that happen? Like, you know, God's giving us a blessing. Oh, let me just take that blessing off you and I'll take care of him. Or I still can't
And you
understand
just
that.
stay
I don't
there
get it,
in
you know?
fucking pain.
Yeah, I don't get it. So, okay, I'm supposed to sit here and grieve and be all messed up and either be suicidal or do, you know, drugs and stuff. Like, how's that fair? You know? How's that fair on me? Like, I don't know, man. It's
Oh,
just
man, I was
messed up,
so
eh? It just
fucking.
messes with your head.
Yeah, I
man.
was so angry with
Yeah.
him.
Like, what? God? Oh, you call yourself God, bro? Yeah, no, I was pretty angry too. Like, I still, you know,
But
believe
I
in
think
God,
at the time, I was just so angry at the situation
yeah,
that I couldn't take it out on anybody that was living. And so, I needed to put all this anger and blame onto somebody.
yeah,
And I directed it at him.
straight at him, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now, you know, like I mean, I'm not fucking hearty sitting in the front row at the church every fucking Sunday. Like,
you have sinned.
like, that's not me. I have my own kind of relationship with him and stuff like that. But it's taken me all these fucking years to realize that, oh, Nix, you know, you were going through your shit. You were looking for someone to dump it all on and to be so angry with. And, you know, and the other thing is, what was going through my mind is I had all these questions like why, you know, and no one walking on earth had the answer except him. You know, and so I was so angry that I had to wait until my end of my life to finally be standing in front of him to get my fucking answers. You know, like...
See, I never, I mean, that's the thing is that there was absolutely nothing wrong with him throughout my whole pregnancy and everything wrong with me. So, like, now, like, today I can sit here and go, you know what? My time here on earth, I needed to fulfill my everything going on, you know? Like, so I feel today, like, my time here wasn't done. Like, there was things that I needed to fulfill before, you know? So, obviously, you know, as much as that hurts that and pains me, I lost my child. Yeah, like, now I'm just living my best life, like, you know, I'm out there now, I'm happy, and I'm just like, oh, I get, like, I've got purpose, oh, I've got a why, oh, wow, like, I actually believe that now, whereas before I was like, whatever, but yeah, it just took me to lose my baby to really open my eyes and go, yeah, actually, you know, you're beautiful, you know, I do love me, I do love who I am, and life is just way better now, and yeah.
What would you say to anyone that's going through that?
I know that talking about it is it's not an easy thing and it's not for everybody, but, you know, I think the more that you express yourself, even if it's just to one person or to your partner or to a family member or something, the more you open up, the mama softens, you know, you feel a little bit better. I mean, a lot of people shut down, like can't talk about it. And for me, I share my story all the time because it's not only healing me, but I can help to heal somebody else's mamai. Like if I can take a bit of their mamai by sharing my story, then that gives me so much joy, like being able to share my story and help others out there. You know, there's so many out there that have lost a baby and stuff that, you know, by me being able to share that, you know, my experiences and what I had to deal with and can maybe help them, you know. Yeah.
I mean, so what's in store for Simone's journey?
So I've lost over 125 kilos. Woo! So, you know, thanks, you know, my baby's been with me all this time, and I'm currently on to the next stage of my journey, which is a shitload of excess skin removal. So we're starting that first stage next month. So wings gone, stomach gone, thigh lift,
yeah, girl,
and that, you know, where you have the baby's lift, and liposuction and fat transfer to my face, and
I know that, you know, for the whānau that are watching, that you have your own platform that whānau can support you and come over. What is that?
My platform is From Tragedy to Happiness.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, I pretty much... And that's another way I got myself, helped myself with my grieving and stuff, is that I actually started sharing my stuff. Sharing my emotions online and just putting it out there. Like 3 months after I lost them, I actually put a video, like I couldn't do live stream then, too shy. But I put a video up and just, put it out there, and that went viral and helped a lot of people. So I just started from there.
So on Facebook, From Tragedy to Happiness.
From Tragedy to Happiness, yeah.
Well, on behalf of CWK and myself and Leah, we just want to say thank you so much. We love you.
No, I love you too, girl. Thank you.